So how do we factor when our leading coefficient is not 1? So there are two ways to do it. One is pretty easy, but requires you to memorize a bunch of steps. The other one is a little bit harder, but has much less memorization. I hate memorization. I think it's the worst thing on the planet. So we are going to do this method. If you want to see this method, you can click here. All right, so our first step is to multiply the first and the last numbers together. That's step 1. So 2 times -7 equals -14. Step number 2 is to find the factors of -14. And specifically in step number 2, we want to find the 2 factors of -14 that are going to add up to our middle number, which is 13, or -13, excuse me. So if I look, I see that, oh, I made a mistake. These are the same factor. What I meant is +1 minus 14. If I look at these, when I add them together, I'm going to get -13. All right, so these are our winners. Now we're going to rewrite our original equation a little bit differently. I still have 2x squared. I still have -7. But in the middle, I'm going to replace -13x with its equivalent, but with these numbers. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to put plus x, which is just 1x, plus 1x, minus 14x. And this is going to make our lives easier in a second. But the whole reason I did that, well, you'll see the reason in a second, but look here, I didn't change the function. If I add these together, I get -13, so it's still the same function. That's an important point. All right, for our next step, we're going to factor by grouping. So to factor by grouping, here I'm going to pull out an x, and I have 2x plus 1 left over. Here I'm going to pull out a -7, and I have 2x plus 1 left over. Okay, and it's really, really important that these two binomials be the same. If they aren't the same, go back and you check your work. You made a mistake somewhere. Okay, and now, as part of factoring by grouping, I'm going to pull out this binomial, these binomials from each term. And I'm going to get 2x plus 1, which is the binomial that I pulled out, times x minus 7. And there you go. That's factoring by grouping. And your last step, your final step, is to check your answer. And to do that, I want you to FOIL. And you should get the same thing from here.